Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day that we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Today is the day the Lord hath made. It's Freaky Friday, and I'm feeling a little frisky. Look at my shirt. You see what my shirt say? It say, suck my sacral chakra. So that symbol is your sacral chakra, which is approximately like a little under your stomach. It's not your root, but it's above your root chakra. Your root chakra is ride my root chakra. And so if you want to get you some suck my sacral chakra, go ahead and head over to TaylaAndre.com. I am so excited for today because we talk about pandemic sex. We talk about pandemic sext. We go and talk about whether or not your sex life has improved or decreased since the pandemic. And so we're going to get into that after we get into some of this news, because there is so much going on in the world. And I just want you to be educated on what's going on so you can make properly informed decisions about how you move in this place called world. So really quickly, there's an article that I read about the toxic legacies of abandoned mines. The Trump administration promised new efforts to clean up the mining materials on sites that continue to contaminate soil, contaminate water, and contaminate the air decades after companies that started these mines pulled out of them. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, aka the EPA, announced that it is opening up offices to focus on tracking and cleaning up the environmental threats from abandoned mines in several Western states. And so these are like gold mines, these are coal mines, these are like mostly coal mines that are causing damage to the water, air, and soil. And there are lingering threats of gold, mercury, uranium, molybdenum. I don't even know what that is, but apparently it's bad for water. The critics remain skeptical about the commitment for taking such an expansive and expensive operation. And mind you, this is something that he quote unquote promised but not promised like 4 years ago. And so now you want to have this conversation. It's re-election time. You want to make all these promises, but the truth of the matter is it should have been done a long time ago. And secondly, these companies, corporations should have been held accountable years ago. So when you take a look, so I am a huge documentarian. So I love documentaries. And one of the documentaries that I watched was about DuPont and the non-stick, what is that called? Teflon. Is that Teflon? The non-stick is Teflon. And one of the things that they were talking about in this documentary that I cannot remember, so I'm not going to pretend to recall the name, but it was on Netflix. And in the documentary, it was talking about how they did this study on how much Teflon was in the blood systems of Americans. And Teflon is what makes things nonstick. And they found like everybody had Teflon in their blood. And so they were like, there's no way that everybody has like point something of Teflon in their blood. And so they found like a remote community of people that were not like part of our society. They were completely remote. They got a handle of their blood and found that they were the only ones that had zero Teflon in their system. No aluminum, no nothing. And because in the documentary, they talked about the like runoff water of these manufacturing buildings, or the industry as a whole is not only destroying the water by pouring the runoff of whatever it is that they use into the water rivers, but it was also polluting the air. And a lot of the community members or people who lived within a 25-mile radius was getting like prostate cancer, all types. Hey, baby, shout out to my cousin, the best makeup artist on earth, Flawless, Erica Flawlessly. We're going to have her in the building because she been in the building with us a couple times in the past. But to think about how many of us love the the simplicity of a nonstick pan, not understanding that nonstick pan is now, all of those chemicals are now in your food, you're ingesting it, and there is nobody on this planet except for this remote location of individuals that do not have Teflon, aluminum in their body. And studies are being reported or coming out every single day about how aluminum is blocking synapses from firing in your brain, aka causing what we see in children as autism, what we see as elders as Alzheimer's. And so, long story short, the EPA, and that's why I started talking about that, is because in this documentary where they were talking about Teflon and the effects of all of this insanity, one of the things that they found was the EPA does not act quick enough. Like if you take a look at lead, so they've been painting houses for lead for years. They didn't know that these children that were dying, these people who were dying, were having lead poisoning. Like lead being an issue isn't even across the United States. Massachusetts is one of the only states that actually requires you to admit or inform tenants or owners of whether or not the property has lead, or like these are the lead laws. This is about lead. Read about lead, because this is what may or may not cause you harm in the future. But Massachusetts is like one of the only states that requires that. You go down south, you can have a 6-year-old all day in a lead infused house, and it's really not a problem. So the EPA has not acted quickly enough when it came to lead. They didn't act quickly enough when it came to asbestos. I don't feel like they're acting quick enough when it comes to like the water runoffs coming from, and it's not just industrial. It's not just like mining or Teflon or these plastic things. It's also a lot of the manufacturing companies that are in produce, like the meats, and when you like cut up the meats and all of that, like there's a lot going on when it comes to our environment, and the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, and they're really not protecting ish, like not a damn thing. So I say that, so I am all about the universe and nature, and I love the people. I want the knife, please. So that's just things to be mindful of. Like I'd love for you, I'll find the documentary, and once I find the documentary, I'll properly inform you of what it's called so you guys can watch it for yourself. But once you take a look, if you roll it back, Asaria was born in 2006. No, I'm lying. Oh my God. Asaria was born in 2005. In 2006, when she transitioned from breast milk coming into like the bottled milk stage, I started doing a whole lot of research of like milk. And this was particularly because Asaria had like an abnormal growth. She was damn near born with a breast. And I was just, the doctor's like, oh, that's so normal. That's normal. It just like, it's hormone related. And so that caused me to fall down a rabbit hole that I never got out of. Like I'm still in this motherfucker. I'm still in the rabbit hole right now. And so learning about hormones and learning about what I was eating, what I was feeding her, what I was feeding her brother. She was really big on like eating yogurt, and long story short, I started ruining milk for everyone. I was like, yo, milk is this. You suck it on a cow's titty. You don't want to drink breast milk, but you want to drink cow's milk. That don't make no sense. And I ruined milk for a lot of people. Like to this day, a lot of my cousins don't drink milk because of what I've said almost 15 years ago. And so once you actually go down that rabbit hole of understanding that you are what you think, eat, what you ingest with your eyes, what you ingest with your ears, what you see on TV, what you listen to in your music, the type of clothing that you put on you, all of these sayings that our kids are wearing, these skull and bones that we put on our children, like all of this matters to what you are ingesting as a soul. And once you go down that rabbit hole of what it is you are actually eating, there's a lot of stuff that you will no longer subject yourself to, because at the end of the day, like, it really is subjection that you are doing to yourself. Like, you can't blame nobody else. That also reminds me of the TV show that was it on Netflix or Amazon Prime? Robert De Niro was in it. They were like Nazi killers. Like they hunted down Nazis and killed them. I can't remember the name of the show, but like the big plot of it all was getting this high fructose corn syrup into society and getting people hooked on it, and how the Negroes are all you got to do is put a little sugar in it and they're going to drink it and it's going to like slowly kill them. And then you take a look at what is actually in our communities, what's actually in our bodegas, was actually like, we don't have Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan. We can't just go to the smoothie place. So I want to do a quick shout out to Miss Stacy out in Mattapan, Miss Stacy is a Black woman who owns the gas station on Blue Hill Ave in Mattapan. That's a Black woman who owns that gas station. And inside there's a smoothie spot. There's another place if you come up Blue Hill from Mattapan into Dorchester, right before you get to Morton Street on the right-hand side, there's another juice place. But when you think Roxbury doesn't have a juicing place, aside from those two, which is really Mattapan, Dorchester don't have no juicing place. When you think about how much access we have to fruits and vegetables, aside from the Latinos that have the truck and you get the fruits and vegetables off the truck, we live in a food desert. You get pizza, you get Chinese food, and the healthiest food you really have access to in the hood is if you go to a Jamaican spot. And I can't really even say a Trini spot because there's only like 3 Trini spots that I can think of for roti. But unless you are going to a Jamaican spot and getting some rice and peas with vegetables, there's no real food in the hood. But that's a real rabbit hole that we can go down. The show is called The Hunters. When they were looking for ex-Nazi war criminals and killing them. And the Nazis were trying to come in and create this whole huge high fructose corn syrup. And so I am adamant when it comes to making sure. I can't really do it now in RE17. Asari is 15. They're like, F you, we'll eat what we want. We'll just go to dad's house. And so we don't drink Kool-Aid in my house. We don't have any of these like 99-cent juices. We don't do juice at my house at all unless it's 100% juice. Because if you actually look at your juicy juice in the back of the cover, it's like 5% juice, real juice. And then you look at the back and it's like 3% juice. So we don't do none of that. My kids drink so much water that when they go to somebody else's house, they're like, Mom, did you know Plymouth water is really good? Like my kids can taste the difference in water. That's how much of a water drinking family we are. But I digress. The environment is important. You should be mindful of what you put in your body. Be careful of, read the labels, not the calories. Who cares about that, right? Just be mindful of what you're actually, if you can't pronounce the ish, don't eat the ish. How about that? I'm about to make a t-shirt about that. Shout out to a mother and daughter duo. They came together to start their own cosmetic brand. She is so cute. The mom looked like she's the daughter's sister, but Black don't crack, so that's to be expected. For many entrepreneurs, it is important to teach their children important lessons that they will be able to use one day in creating businesses to secure financial independence. For one Black woman entrepreneur, creating a new business was the way to create new opportunities for her daughter through their shared love of cosmetics. Danielle and Samaya Pasha are the founders of the Beat House cosmetic company that opened on Juneteenth earlier this year. The beauty brand offers an assorted collection of eyeshadow palettes, lipstick, false eyelashes, and so much more. While Danielle serves as the brainchild and the founder of the company, she enlisted the help of her 14-year-old daughter, Samaya, to work as the interim CEO while she was deployed in Afghanistan for 3 years. I am so blown away by all of the positive feedback I have received from everyone. It is so surreal, says Danielle in an interview with Black News. I remember FaceTiming my daughter, giving her instructions and tasks to help me out with the business in my absence, and now we are partners. And so for those who don't know, I want to give you a quick tip that you may not be informed of. So if you have a business, and I'm not talking about a side hustle, baby. There's a difference between your side hustle that puts a little money in your pocket versus you actually getting your EIN number for your business and becoming registered with the IRS and actually having your business with an LLC or whatever have you. If you have a tax ID number, then you're an actual business and not a side hustle. So there is a difference there. And if you need help, let me know. I can guide you down. I can take you to where you need to be, because we need to let go of these side hustles and actually claim this money really quickly. So I feel like this needs to be said. Oh, so first and foremost, let's say, for instance, like you want to buy a house, but even if you don't want to buy a house, you make $35,000 at your job, just over broke, and you have a side hustle that's making you $25,000 to $30,000. Essentially, you make $60,000 a year, but on paper, you only make $30,000, and you think you over here getting off on a system because you're making an additional $30,000 and you're not claiming it. That's fraud, first and foremost. And looking like I still do fraud. We talked about this earlier this week. And so welcome to you on the dark side of fraud. But aside from tax evasion, what you're doing is screwing yourself. And the reason why you're screwing yourself is because if at any point in time you do want to purchase a house, you're going to be purchasing a house in the form of your to the max of your $30,000 a year that you claim on paper. And even though you're like, but yo, I have an additional $30,000 that I make. Well, if you don't claim it on paper, it doesn't exist to the United States government. And so unless you're buying property with cash with this money that you are tax evading, you cannot buy the house that you want to buy because you are side hustling yourself and not claiming all of your money on your taxes. And I know it's a pain in the ass because don't nobody want to pay taxes because you ain't even doing right with the money that I'm giving you already. So why I want to give you more money? I get it, but you are screwing yourself in the long run, because at some point in time, you are going to want to go legit. And if you don't set up your business the right way, you set yourself up for a slippery slope of failure. Aside from that, I just want to rewind about how many people are actually, that's what I was going to say about taxes and children. So if you do not have a side hustle, but you actually have a business that has an EIN number, what you can do is claim $1,000 per child that is under the age of 18. So again, this is a slippery slope as well, because I screwed myself. I made X amount of dollars. I wrote off everything, baby. I wrote off the car note, the car insurance, the mileage. I wrote off the gas. I wrote off all the marketing. I wrote it all off. And after writing all of it off, it was like, oh, you made $1,000 for the year. I'm like, hold on, what? And so now when I'm looking at purchasing other properties, it's like, well, Tayla, you only made $1,000. No, I didn't. I made X amount, but I wrote off X amount and it only looked like I made 1,000. I didn't really make that. And so that can screw you as well. But let's say, for instance, you made 100,000, that 100,000, you're trying to write some things off, but you don't have all of your forms, but you have 2 kids under the age of 18. They worked for you, right? They went ahead and took phone calls on your behalf. Anari out right now passing out flyers in between period 3 and period 4, putting door knockers on people's doors. He surely is, because I put these chillins to work on a regular basis. And so when you put your children to work, however you put them to work, even the 5-year-old takes out the trash for the business, then hey, you can claim that child as an employee, but not just an employee. You can write it off on your taxes in the form of making sure that you write that child a check. It says payroll for the week, for the month, whatever, up to $1,000 a month, which is $12,000 a year. So you make $100,000 a year. You on paper forgot to, save all of your receipts. So you only have like $2,200 that you can claim. Damn, I'm screwed because now I owe all this money in taxes. But you do have 2 children. You go ahead. Now, I'm not telling you to engage in tax evasion. I'm trying to teach you in the future, you can write your children a check. And that check can be deposited back into your account, baby. But it just need to be coming out of your account as payroll. And if that baby sign it back over to you, that's your business, right? But you $1,000 a month, so $250 a week, and you write that baby a check. You go ahead, let the baby deposit it. You put it back in your account, do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the year, $1,000 a month, $12,000 a year per child under the age of 18. And there you go. You just went ahead and saved you some money. Cha-ching! I just want 10%. But I gotta feed y'all. I gotta feed you the knowledge. Somebody taught me. So what I look like keeping it to myself. And I want you to grow. PSA, this is not, do your own due diligence. This is not, I am not telling you what to do. You cannot sue me. I am not a financial advisor. I am sharing information that I have learned over the years that may or may not be true. I just want to make a disclaimer. Don't come to me because you went to Boo Boo the Fool or you decided to do your taxes on TurboTax and you messed up, okay? So I am not to be sued. I am giving a disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. I am just speaking from experience. Amen? Amen. Because you'll out here be giving people the game and they want to turn around and sue you 2 days later, talk about something Tayla said. Tayla said not a damn thing. I'm sharing my experience. Amen. Ashe. Okay. Next, in the news, Friday, September 19th, Indigenous characters, artists take the stage in new Marvel anthology. The comic book giant Marvel is releasing a new anthology dedicated to Indigenous superheroes, all produced by Indigenous artists and writers, in addition to giving new storylines to names like Echo and Danny Moonstar. Remember, I don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to comic books. So if I mispronounce a name, correct me, please. I don't have all the answers. The project in the Marvel Voices series intends to correct some of the mistakes of previous non-native led efforts that relied on offensive stereotypes and inauthentic character development. This is for like Port Gamble, Sakulum tribe. It curates new volume sets to coincide with Native American History Month. Viraj and others from the project will talk about the growing momentum for authentic Native comic book characters. This is beautiful. I absolutely love it. I'm only here for the comments. And so there was a comment that was made the other day that I read on somebody's post talking about Black Panther. And it was just like, y'all really big up this character, Black Panther, that's not even a real person. Like, are you teaching your children while you over here watching Black Panther? Are you actually teaching your children about the real Black Panthers that created the WIC program so you can have milk, cheese, eggs, cereal, peanut butter, and beans? I think it's beans. Or are you teaching your children that the reason why children are able to have the free lunch program is because of the Black Panthers? Like, don't sit here and have your child watching Black Panther, the movie, and you're not even doing your real due diligence and teaching your children about the real Black Panthers. And so I thought that was dope that, that's a real thing. And so are Native American characters. we really don't. So again, I don't know much about history. No, I don't know much about comic books, but I do know I recently learned that Samuel L. Jackson has his own anime. So Asari is like really big in anime right now and has been for years, and I haven't really gotten into it. Aang is probably like the furthest I've gotten into anime because I really like the principles and like what is taught in the Avatar. And so I didn't know that Samuel L. Jackson not only like produced, but also stars in his own anime of like a black ninja whose father was the #1 killer in the world. And then the #2 killed him and stole his #1. And now he's out fighting everybody, trying to get the #1 back that his daddy once owned. Like it's kind of dope. Anime is just weird to me. Like, I think it's weird because the first time I was introduced to anime was via porn. And so I was just like, I can't get into it because it just reminds me of this one scene that I saw that was porn related. And so, Freaky Friday, I can talk about that. The simplest way to increase your income and build wealth in the stock market. So next week, we are having a conversation with a good friend of mine and has been, you know how you have Facebook friends? You've been Facebook friends with somebody for like 15 years and you feel like that you know them in real life. Like, you know their mom, you've seen the birthday parties. Like, so he's my good friend in that sense. But he is a financial advisor. He is also a stockbroker and has multiple clients. He's a black man, and he is going to be live with us next week talking about not just stock options, investment properties. We're going to be talking about the whole gamut when it comes to your wallet. And so I want you to have all of the bags, and we are going to talk about, highly achieving professionals and entrepreneurs accumulating massive amounts of money in the form of stock and stock options. And so I'm super excited for that. Get ready, because you are going to want to, take notes, and then you're going to want to go ahead and rewind and watch it again. Because every single time, like, I follow his Facebook and he drops jewels after jewels after jewels for free. Celebrity therapist Jeff Rocker on Black men dealing with anxiety and depression amid COVID-19. For the Mental Health Awareness Week, Black Enterprise interviewed numerous individuals within the wellness community to talk about the racial disparities that affect Black communities in hopes of creating a safe space to talk about mental health. And so we as Black people, like, when I still equate mental health to like white women being on like Vatican, what's that thing called? Valium, whatever the damn drug. Like, when I think about mental health, I think of white women with martini glasses that are throwing back pills, talking about how traumatizing it is that they don't have to work all day and their kids are so annoying. And so that's what I think about. But this is the perception when you think about media. This has been what the media or what movies, what people have portrayed mental health as being. And so to think of mental health in the form of the, healing the traumas and generational traumas that we have experienced as humans and just life in general, it's not one that equates the other. Like, you don't put those two hand in hand. So celebrity therapist and licensed mental health counselor Jeff Rocker sees the effects it has on his clients as far as COVID-19 is concerned. In the interview, he discusses the stigma around discussing what mental health is and how it affects Black men. COVID-19 has contributed to increasing the number of people who say they suffer from mental health issues due to the fallout from the health crisis. And sadly enough, research reveals that 44% of African Americans have experienced pay cuts or job loss in comparison to the 73% lacked emergency financial reserves to cater to the 3-month expenses due to the epidemic. That's something that we never learned either until you actually get into like a financial situation and you start having financial conversations. Nobody tells you to have a nest egg. Like, your grandmother didn't have no nest egg. Your mama didn't have a nest egg. You know what she had? She had a couple of dollars in the mattress that, here, baby, here goes some pocket change. But when it came to like having 3 months worth of mortgage, 3 3 months worth of car note, like that is first, last, security, and fee. That's a whole deposit on a house. No, like who has that? These are some of the things that we were not taught, but this is some of the things that we discuss in the book, Finally Home. And so shameless plug really quickly, if you want to go ahead and learn anything about when it comes to real estate, when it comes to there's a little bit about taxes in there. There's credit, step-by-step guide for credit, step-by-step guide for home ownership, and a little bit about taxes. Go ahead and get you the Finally Home step-by-step guide for people preparing for first-time home ownership. You don't even have to be thinking about it. You don't have to have no savings. Your credit could be jacked up. It's for people preparing, so you can prepare, and it gives you all the knowledge that you need to make informed decisions and to do what you need to do as a human to be better. And all the knowledge that your mother didn't teach you, your grandmother didn't teach you because they didn't have the knowledge themselves, it's in the book. And actually the kids' homework for me, because I make the kids do homework for mommy, is to read the book and to take notes. So today is 9/11, and I do want to take a moment to acknowledge all of those that have fallen due to 9/11. And I'm not just talking about fallen because the buildings fell. I'm talking about those who cleaned up the buildings and ended up dying from respiratory diseases, and the government still has yet to pay them. I want to take a moment and honor the people overseas, the innocent lives that we took so we can. I'm not going to speak on that right now, but just all of the innocent lives of the people that did not need to die due to 9/11 and the ongoing war that we continue to perpetuate due to never forget 9/11 Twin Towers. Okay, so now that we have taken a moment to honor those that we have lost, those that have fallen, I want to take a moment to tell you that I am a full-fledged conspiracy theorist. There is no way in hell that you are going to sit here and tell me, I don't care what type of engineer you are, I don't care what type of construction beam, I don't care what kind. My soul will not allow me to believe anything other than them things were blown up on purpose. The owner of the building got what was it, $2 billion insurance, upped his insurance by $2 billion. The way that they fell cascading, had the steel beams been a problem, why wouldn't the top half from where the plane fell and the top half, why wouldn't that collapse and then topple over? I've seen enough demolition to know that pat, and it cascaded all the way down. Aside from that, you can't tell me that building 7 just fell. Secondly, you can't convince me, I'm not stupid enough to think that a plane with wings fell into this little ass hole and the Pentagon was not blown up by a missile. There is nothing on this earth that is going to deter me from what I believe, period. And so there are a million conspiracy theorists. When you listen to the people, and they even it was on air. You have to go down deep. What Trump say? The dark space, deep space. You got to go into deep space to find the video of the news who were quote unquote live on the scene, or they were really close to the scene of the 9/11 of the Twin Towers, and you can hear the explosion prior to the towers falling. So there's no convincing. I'm not going to sit here and debate. We're not going to have a back and forth. I believe what I believe, and there is no, I watched the documentary. I saw hundreds of the researchers say this doesn't make sense. Engineer after engineer after engineer say, yo, this, it was, what's it called? Controlled demolition. It was controlled demolished. And that's all I needed. And so all these other engineers that are coming out is just no, there's absolute steel beams were melted. And because the steel beams melted, that's why building 7 fell. Look like a freaking idiot? Nah, B, I'm good. So there's 11 right now, 11 of the most believed conspiracy theories. One The insider trader knew about the attacks before it happened. 2, air defense was told to stand down because we do have an air defense, like pow, pew, pew. We have like missiles in the ground that are supposed to, if you are not who you say you are, if we Roger, and you're not answering back, Roger, Mayday, Mayday, there's a missile that's going to come and take you out before you take anybody else out, period. So two, air defense was told to stand down. 3, there was an entire, what's it called? Tactical training practice or something along that lines, where, do you remember when they shut down Boston? I don't know if you remember when I reported this, but they shut down Boston train station so they could do like live fire just in case, like what happened if we had an active shooting in the T? What would we do? Let's practice. And there's like signs that are like, these are not real bullets. This is an active training, live thing. And so there was an active training of like, what if a plane crashed into the Twin Towers on the same day that a plane crashed into the Twin Towers? And so that is here and there. Planes didn't make the Twin Towers collapse. The bombs did. The Pentagon attack scientifically does not add up. Again, if I am this wide and the hole is this little, please tell me how I fit this into that. It's not a pom-pom, it not stretch out and then go back to normal. That is not what happened. That is not what happened. The Pentagon crash may be the most puzzling event of the 9/11. Theorists maintain that the impact of a hole in the Pentagon was much smaller than a commercial American airline plane. They also question why the plane was not shut down prior to impact, as well as why the plane impacted only a section of the Pentagon that was vacant due to renovations. Hijackers are alive, and their passports survived an entire explosion. You guys forgot about that, didn't you? A lot of us forgot that the passport was found like a block away of the hijackers, of those that they blamed did the hijacking. Cell phone calls made for the plane were faked. That one's a first one for me. I've never heard that one. Jewish people knew the attack was going to happen, and they took work off on September 11th. The black boxes were found near a crew kept secret. During the weeks following the attack, the plane's black boxes were one of the most important items under investigation. They were the only evidence to what happened inside the cockpits of the plane. 3 of the 4 black boxes were found, and only one was in good enough condition to hear. The tape was not initially released, but was shared with families of the victims in 2002. Skeptics believe the tapes were not disclosed in order to support a secret scheme of the crime. Bin Laden, the other conspiracy theorists believe that Osama bin Laden tapes were faked. Initially, Osama bin Laden denied any involvement with the attack. Soon afterwards, numerous tapes came out claiming he changed his mind and took full responsibility. First and foremost, if you know anything about a damn bin Laden, you already know that he was on our payroll. So many of the people that we sit here as the United States of America, many of these dictators that we say were so bad and so evil, these dictators were on the United States payroll. We paid them. Gaddafi, he was on our payroll. Bin Laden was on our payroll. The dude from Guatemala, El Salvador, Argentina was on our payroll. And then we're like, oh, you're not going to do what we want you to do? Pew, pew. Take them out. And we're like, oh, we liberated the people from their dictator. No, they weren't doing what we wanted them to do. So we sniped them out. Yo, tell the truth. Shame the devil. But you know what? Whatever don't come out in a rinse. What is it? Whatever don't come out in a wash, come out in a rinse. And 30 years after anything happens, you can do the Freedom of Information Act, and a lot of these federal files are released after 30 years. So I'm waiting for the 30 years after 9/11 so a lot of these files can be released. But one of the things that they do is redact. And so 30 years from, what is Las Vegas called? Where my people's at? Because y'all be giving me the answers when I don't know the answers. Hey, baby. Hey, Rob. Shout out to Rob. Rob is live on the YouTube, so you can watch on YouTube. Shout out to McFly, Bish. Shout out to Lizzie Stevens. Everybody's watching live on either YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook. What was I about to say? And Osama bin Laden, all of the people. What was the question that I had from my folks? I forgot. So we'll return to that when my brain remembers. Aluminum planes can't penetrate steel. The structure of the World Trade Center was, it was impossible. Those are the conspiracy theorists, 11 list of the conspiracy theorist theories. I agree with most of them. I would have to say 9 of them. I'm not certain about number 11 or number 9 because I was unaware of like the faking of the phone call. So I don't know about that. But that's what I was gonna say. If you know anything about Osama bin Laden, or if you know anything about the occult of Taliban, if you know anything about the Taliban, these Negroes claim everything. They claim everything. If we did it, we did it. We said we did it. Hey, we did it. We did it. You think for 5 seconds they're not going to claim the largest attack on American soil? You don't think that the first thing they were going to do was stand up and say, hey, we's the ones? So I don't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm not going to believe it. There's nothing you can do to change my mind, period. Shout out to EAW. Hi, Daddy. How you doing? How you doing, father? I'm going to have Daddy on Freaky Friday one day. It's going to be hilarious because my father is so honest and so blatant. It's not today, though. Not today. A veteran Caribbean journalist, Owens Baptiste, dies. The prominent Caribbean journalist Owen Baptiste, who served as the executive chairman of the Barbados-based Caribbean news agency, CANA, died on Tuesday. He was 87 years old. Baptiste is also served as a technical advisor to the Jamaican Observer in the company's early years. The cause of death has not been disclosed, but Baptiste, who served as editor-in-chief at the Trinidad Express and Trinidad Guardian, the Catholic News, and the now defunct Caribbean Contact, was reported to have fallen ill for several weeks. A journalist for more than 6 decades, Baptiste worked at the newspaper in the Caribbean as a reporter, columnist, and editor. He also visited China in 1990, 1992, and 1997 with his wife, Rana, as a guest of the China Association for Cultural Exchange with Foreign Countries. And so I told you, as Afro-Caribbean, Latino, all that we are as a station, I am going to not only be reporting on what's happening here in America, but what's happening overseas in the West Indies, as well as what's happening with our Native people. And so we will continue to be educated on all things Black. All things Black. All things Black. Yes, Ross, I do believe that 9/11 was an inside job. And for me, if you have a lick of common sense, it just makes sense that this was not an accident. And knowing, all that we wanted to accomplish overseas, knowing all that we wanted to get our grimy little hands on overseas, this just made sense for us to do. If you guys give me a minute. Yes, Auntie. It should have been there at 10 a.m. I'm going to get all $83 of my money back because it was guaranteed to be there by 10:30 the latest. And right now it is 10:53 in Alabama time. I don't know if I have it, Auntie. I'm on air and you live. I said, I'm on air and you're live. Oh. I'll go ahead. I'll take a break. at 12 o'clock, at 11 o'clock. Give me another 6 minutes and we'll take a break. All right. That's my auntie Shirley. Shout out to Katrina. Hey, Katrina, how you doing? Daddy, you hear your sister? Over here bothering me. Yo, my auntie had me pay $83 to send her Chinese food. That's how bad Chinese food is in the South. That she she wanted some Chinese food from Boston and had me pay 83 damn dollars. But I do I know discussing 9/11, a lot of people feel like discussing 9/11 as an inside job does not pay homage or any type of respect to those that lost their lives. But there were more people that lost their lives than just when the towers fell. There were so many more people that, are waiting for the United States government to pay them out as families of, those that went ahead and volunteered their services to clean up the rubble and the garbage on ground zero. How many families, how many fathers and mothers and wives and firefighters and first responders have, there's an entire, what is it called? Class action suit. There's an entire class action suit against the United States government for not acting swiftly and for not being responsive for those that went ahead and put their life on the line and lost their life years later to cancer, and wives are at home with children like, yo, my husband didn't have to volunteer and the least you could do was pay for the medical bills. And that for me is what annoys me the most, is that there were so many first responders that lost their lives, but prior to losing their lives or succumbing to the cancerous of the mesothelioma or whatever was in the air that they were breathing, their medical expenses were not paid. And so 2011, what is it, almost 20 years. So it's been almost 20 years since this happened and families are still waiting for a payout? That makes no sense to me. But it's neither here nor there. 9/11 was an inside job, and there were many that lost their lives because our government failed to act swiftly. The Brooklyn Museum posts on Instagram about a Haitian American artist, Yolene, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, Yolene Legrand. And so the Brooklyn Museum is honoring Haitian-born contemporary artist Yolene Legrand. Sources her inspiration from her travel to her homeland, France, and the United States. Often captivated by colored landscape and cultural presentation, Legrand's images range from the mountainous lush of Haiti to the cityscape of Manhattan skyline. Tati de Femme depicts precisely what the title entails: the head of a woman, achieved through the intaglio print method of linkut. The colors in this work suggest a node to the colors of Haitian coat of arms, a symbol of the battle of independence for the Republic led by Toussaint. Oh, you know what? We are going to, I have a couple associates that we can discuss. I love the Haitian Revolution, everything about Toussaint and the fight that he led to victory. He is like the Nat Turner of Haiti. For those who don't know who Toussaint is, I absolutely am in love with Ethiopia and Haiti. And so I have this book that is what is it called? Africa Coast to Coast or something to that effect. And in the first page, it talks about the countries and the day in which they were conquered and the day that they reached liberation, or the year that they were conquered, circa conquered at this year, and the day that they actually received their independence. And for Ethiopia, it's blank and blank. Ethiopia has never, ever, ever, ever been conquered. And when I went to Ethiopia and the vibes in Ethiopia and if you think Jamaicans have pride, I think Jamaicans are some of the most prideful people. They are so they are Jamaican everywhere they go, anywhere they go. I don't care if they have a drop of Jamaican in them. They are Jamaican. Jamaicans have so much pride. And if you think a Jamaican has pride, wait until you go to Ethiopia and you just see Ethiopia, Angarale, and only my Abishas know what I'm talking about right now. So I absolutely am in love with everything Abisha, everything Ethiopia. The food is amazing, the culture is amazing, and they have never, ever, 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 ever been conquered by anybody. And when the Italians tried to come and take their land, they defeated them. To this day, Ethiopians eat raw meat as a delicacy because back in the day when the Italians came, they couldn't start a fire. If they started a fire, you could see smoke. The Italians could find them. They were forced to eat raw meat. And so to this day, their bodies have completely become immune and they eat raw goat. They eat, that's a sheep, right? They eat raw sheep, raw lamb, raw goat, and it's a delicacy to them. Like, it's nothing. It's sort of like our sushi, but not really. And one of my favorite stories is when the general, was it he was sexy sexy. Today, if he was alive today, that man could get it. He's so fine to me. It's not Managna. I forgot his name, but he has braids. He's fine as hell. And when they tried to capture him, the Italians tried to capture him. He killed himself because he said no Ethiopians will ever be in prisoners of war. Like, Ethiopians are not prisoners. And he took his own life. That is so sexy. Like, just, I love it. I love it. We are coming to the top of the hour. Alicia Keys in the NFL launched a $1 billion fund for Black businesses and community. I love this because Alicia Keys has been authentic her whole life. I love the way she moved. I love, like, you don't know my name. Alicia Keys performed the Black national anthem at the opening night of the NFL season as the league announced that it was teaming up with the singer to establish a $1 billion initiative aimed at helping Black businesses and communities. Her performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing included the imagery of the protests that have resulted since the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. And when you actually think about it, though, this is huge because the NFL just accepted taking a knee. Like, they just brought back Colin Kaepernick into I know my boo over here. Rob, what's it called? My shirt, oh baby, my shirt say suck my sacral chakra. It's part of the Tayla Andre line. You can get it at TaylaAndre.com. What is that called, my love? I forgot. We'll circle back when I remember. But it is Freaky Friday. We're gonna take a quick break because my auntie called and she wanted me to do something. And I'm transparent. That's why I share everything. Don't ask me why I share. I share because I have a thin veil of lies. It's thin. I don't lie. I just falsify. But I'm transparent as much as I can be. And if I can be honest, I'm going to be honest. And that's why I say what I say and do what I do. And so I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. IG is TAYLAAND. Madden. Calvin. Thank you, Calvin Black. I appreciate you. Madden. Colin Kaepernick just got back in Madden after they kicked him out. And now he's back. And so I'm excited about that. Really quickly, I just want to run through these comments before we take a break. So again, shout out to my daddy who is on here. Daddy said he's not coming on Freaky Friday. Daddy, I bet you if I call you, you gonna answer the phone and you gonna be on Freaky Friday. Rob said he loved Ethiopia because Ethiopians don't play either. Exactly. Daddy, I'll get you a t-shirt. Just send me your size and your address because I don't know your address by heart. For real. What up, Calvin? I appreciate you. $83 it was overnight. Rob, I shipped her food overnight because it was frozen and need to get there immediately. Shout out to the yoga preacher. Hi, how are you, cousin? I have heard about how Chinese food is bad in the South. It's horrible. You know what? And it's not just Chinese food. It's like subs. You can't even get a good sub in the South. She could have told me to bring it and I wouldn't have charged that much. Rob, you would have drove. It would have been $83 in tolls, let alone gas. Rob said that's where you go to get it because all of them aren't that bad. It's some soul food restaurants that need to be shut down trying to pass garbage off as soul food. That's a shame, especially up here. There's only one soul food place here in Boston. They don't pay me, but I'm going to see if they can. Maxine's on St. James, located on Dudley Street. Absolutely amazing. Like their banana pudding make you want to slap your mama. I love it. In my IG, everything Tayla Andre is TaylaAndre. Everything is Tayla Andre. I think Twitter is the only one that has an underscore because I forgot the password to the Tayla Andre. And so it is what it is. We'll be right back. Oh, Rob said he doesn't know the Black National Anthem. How about this? When we come back, we're going to take a really quick break. I'm going to go ahead and send Auntie what she needs. When we come back, I'm going to play the National Black Anthem for us because Rob doesn't know what it is. So if Rob doesn't know, I can imagine other Black folks don't know either. So we'll play that. And then after we play that, we're going to talk about Freaky Friday. We're going to talk about whether or not you've been getting a little licky, sucky during quarantine or whether you've been dry as the Sierra Desert. And so I am Tayla Andre. Waking Up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Mwah. We'll be right back. You guys aren't going anywhere because if I cancel you, then I have to start it all over. But everybody else is listening to music that is currently on the radio. And shout out to Instagram. I was supposed to shut y'all off a long time ago. You were supposed to get a sneak peek and then go check out the YouTube. But I left you here so you could be a part of the conversation as well. But we have been live on Spark FM Online for over a week now. I think this week is week 2. And so there's 5 other shows that you can go and watch on YouTube, on Facebook, on not Instagram, on Periscope. Is this the tracking number? Yeah, Priority Express tracking number. Hold on, we'll be back, okay? This portion is the news you should know. But you got me feeling like boy. I hate you. Auntie Shelly. Let's find the Black National Anthem. Go to YouTube. Black National Anthem. And this was Alicia Keys one. Let's pause this. Auntie Shelly. It was supposed to be guaranteed, so if you can get my money back, I would greatly appreciate that. She won the crib. I'm feeling it could be about that. He said he has another offer at $235, and if we accept the counter offer of 40, he will take it off the market today. If you want to move forward, just head over to Loop and sign the lease. And you guys can start moving in this weekend. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate, 617-459-0041. I'll come back to you. Even if I wanted to. We just come around, bang, bang, boomerang. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I am Tayla Andre. Waking up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Before we took a break, we were talking about the Black National Anthem, and one of our listeners said that they had no idea there was a Black National Anthem, and so we are going to play it before we get into Freaky Friday.
Arrowhead now for Lift Every Voice and Sing as it's played in the stadium.
At the dawn of the 20th century, America was a consisted for a brighter nation to lift every voice and sing.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on to victory.
There are forces that want to take us back to another place. We don't want to go back. We want to go forward.
And that was the Black National Anthem that Alicia Keys kicked off the NFL season with. And so shout out to Alicia Keys, because for those who are able to see the video or have watched the video themselves, she still is out here with no makeup, babe. Fresh face. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So Rob said, my hair reminds him of the ram. Wasn't that an Egyptian god? The actual I am learning about Egyptology. It is a lot to digest. And so there for you, Rob, I played Lift Every Voice so you could understand. And it's typically sung in that manner. It's not like a fast-paced song. It is like slow and like strong. And so there it is. There you have it. Freaky Friday. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Where my boo from Alabama at? So he can come over here and talk with us about Freaky Friday. Okay. Pandemic. So the pandemic started like March 7th, and we were all told to stay in the house. Yo, I have a friend, right, that hit me up and was like, Tayla, I want to have a booty call, but I don't I don't know how I'm supposed to have a booty call and I can't leave the house. What am I supposed to do? Like, first of all, why would I know how you have a booty call in the house? Like, put a mask on. I don't know. Don't kiss each other. There have been studies that are just like, COVID can travel through semen. And then there's other doctors that are like, that's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. No, that's not how it happens. And so I want to know, how has COVID affected your sex life? Have you gotten more sex? Have you received more pum-pum, less buddy-buddy? Like, what's going on in your sex life, baby, because of COVID? Have you been sexting? How your sext life been recently? Have you been like going back and forth? Buddy, 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 and a pum-pum. Buddy, 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 and a pum-pum. I wish we had a DJ so he could play like, or she. Shout out to Shamara, because I would love to have Shamara in the building. Y'all want to advocate? Tell Shamara I need her as my DJ. But it would be dope to have somebody be able to play the songs that run through my mind, because the way my mind is set up, it's weird. It is. How has your sex life improved? So I'm reading some of the comments. Y'all could feel free to comment. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Periscope, feel free to comment. How has your, or you can hit me on an inbox and be anonymous. We ain't got to say your name. Don't everybody. Yo, one of the first posts. So I posted this on my Tayla Andre, TaylaAndre on my Tiambra page. And so facebook.com/Tiambra. So it's Team Bra, but it's Tiambra. And that is my alter ego for those who don't know. Many people don't know that Tiambra is my alter ego, but that is the name of my Facebook. If you can't find me through Tayla Andre, because there's like 5 different pages. So Sadeh Israel posted a picture of desert sand and pyramids in the background and says, "She, the Rona ain't ish." My uncle was just like, "What?" Somebody, Crystal from Alabama, posted, what is it? The woman from the Titanic, posted the woman from the Titanic talking about something. It's been 84 years. Richard said, Crystal, please do expand on this. Crystal replied, what is there to expand on? It's been 84 years since I had a sex life. I don't know what movie this is, but it looked like a dried up E.T. raisin. Hey, yo, Rob, what movie is this? Because I know Rob know everything. What movie is this, Rob? Don't he look like a dried up ET? Yo, that's somebody explaining their sex life right now. That's what it looked like. Let me tell you, my sex life been dry. You know what? I'm gonna just be transparent. It's been dry. I don't feel like I have a libido. I don't have no libido. No libido. Like, it does not exist. There's no libido to the point where it's a libido. COVID ain't done nothing. I have in-house. Oh, okay, Rob. Freaky Friday. I guess when you got it living with you, you could do what you want. Rob, your woman don't be like putting it on, what's the name? You don't never be on timeout. Let's have a real conversation, Rob. Does your wife, your live-in, your significant other ever put you on timeout? What timeout look like? You ever put her on timeout? Do men put women on timeout from sex? Anybody? Nobody? Anybody want to answer that? Do men put women on timeout from sex? Like women be putting men on timeout from sex? Cricket. I need answers. I wonder, do men have like, you know what I have noticed though? So I have a friend, right? I always got friends. Yo, I have a friend who, like, him and I were talking and he was just like, I just don't give out buddy like that no more. I was like, what do you mean you don't give out buddy like that? He's just like, I don't give out buddy like that. And I'm not going to give out buddy. Like, you have to earn this. I know my worth. I know my value. Like, you're not just gonna, it's not the same. Like, he stands by the fact that he's not just giving away penis. And I feel like one of my female friends told me that she called this dude and was like, yo, can you come through? And he was like, for what? And she was just like, look at what time it is. Like, why else would I be contacting you? And he was just like, you're not just going to use me. Yo, I feel like these women have become savages and these men are now like the women, like, oh my gosh, I feel so violated. I do have another male friend. I'm not going to say his name, but I do have another male friend who was just like, yo, ever since I became single, it seemed like all these women just want to throw it at me and I don't want to catch none of it. I was just like, why not? Like, if women are throwing it at you, why not get you some? And he was like, no, because like they just want to use you. And, you know, I'm more than just a penis. And I feel like this was like the conversation that women were having once upon a time. But it seems like more men are like, you're not going to do that to me. Like, I want more. I deserve more. So when did this happen? When exactly did this happen that women became these savages calling for penis, calling for pum pum, calling for buddy, and men are like, nah, I'm not want pum pum. When did this happen? Rob said, I see how some women feel when they say I got a headache. Oh, shoot. I'm not on Facebook anymore because of the lockdown revolving door policy, so I got off. I don't know what that means, Rob, but I get it. As far as some of these other comments, Rob, do you know what movie this is? Do you know what movie this is with this dried up, shriveled up ET looking like a what's that fruit? And it's sometimes used as a loofah, but it's really a fruit with seeds in it. And you could buy it at the grocery store and then you like cut it up and you can use it as like an exfoliant. What is that fruit called? Because that's what this man looked like. Mark Meyer said, I'll say going up, but I can see some more advice, knowledge, and tips. I need it for all my queen goddess. I'm all ears and open-minded. Love always. I don't know. I don't know if this was like a shameless plug to use this. It definitely was a shameless plug for his website. I might delete that because we are talking about Pum Pum and Buddy, and you want to talk about love always. Still knocking them down the park twice a week. Oh, Gerald. Hold on, Gerald. I have a question. Are you knocking down multiples, or just one? Question mark. Decline. I'm walking around cussing, so I know it's almost time. Everybody says, Sebastian said, what sex life? Darlene, Titi Dalla said, what sex life? Well, Joe Marv is just here for the comments. Oh, someone just sent the puppy. Oh, Tanya says she pregnant, so I know she getting that good. Yo, the best sex I ever had was during pregnancy. Why is pregnancy sex so effing good? And it has nothing to do with like, because you're not going to be able to get pregnant. That's crazy. You want to know why? Because I'm on the Catholic method. I know when my period, like I am clockwork, baby, clockwork. My period comes the same time every time. Now, sometimes she do a pop-up when she's not supposed to do a pop-up, but Aunt Flo come every on time, every time. She is unlike the bus system. She is unlike the MBTA. And so For those who don't know what the Catholic system is, the Catholics do not believe in what's the thing called? A condom. It's not just condoms, it's prophylactics, not prophylactics, but not protection. What the hell is it called? Lord, have mercy. Whatever. They don't believe in protection. They don't believe contraception. That's what I was looking for. Catholics don't believe in contraceptives. And so there is no birth control. There is no condom. They don't believe in I take that back. They believe in condom for the safety of not getting STDs. They don't believe in contraceptives in the form of prohibiting pregnancy, because if God said, let there be a baby, there's going to be a baby. And so the Catholic method is knowing your cycle and knowing when you're ovulating and making sure his pullout game is strong during ovulation, or just not having sex at all, because you know or you don't know that pre-cum is pre-cum, but it certainly is potent. And some men actually have more potent pre-cum than their actual cum. So if you didn't, now you know, baby. You wondering why you got pregnant and he didn't even nut. Because of the pre-cum. A lot of people don't even know that. Do your due diligence. You don't have to believe nothing I say. Go look it up for yourself. Pre-cum is powerful and strong, and people get pregnant off of it. But if we can have a real conversation, why is pre-cum so sweet? Like, why is it like a now and later? Why does it taste like a Jolly Rancher? Like, why? I'm having flashbacks. Ooh. Why is it so sweet? I have a huge problem. If we just gonna have transparency. This is therapy for me, right? So can we have a real conversation about in Sex and the City, they called it spunk. So I guess we'll call it spunk. So it's not so, people might be watching with kids. So I'm not a fan of the thick white yogurt looking stuff. Like, why? Are there any sexologists that are listening? Anybody who know more about sex than me? It's not much I don't know, but I don't understand, why are some people's, and not just men, because, according to porn, women have, really thick and creamy, why does it look like yogurt sometimes? Anybody have that answer? For $200? Jeopardy. Rob said... they put you in jail too much. That's why you left Facebook. Okay, I get it. Pregnant pum pum is the best off the chain. Flashback is extra wet. Mexican Hispanics don't believe in contraceptives to prohibit pregnancy because they're Catholic. A lot of Latinos are Catholic. Hispanics, Mexicans, Latinos are Catholic. A lot of them are Catholic because of who conquered them. Right? And so you take on the beliefs of your conquerors. And if your conquerors were, the Roman Catholic, you have Catholic beliefs. And that's why a lot of Latinos don't believe in contraceptives for pregnancy, because, if God wants you to have a baby, you have a baby. But I am interested in, please tell me, and please, you know what? I'm going to turn back to Instagram. Maybe somebody on Instagram has the answer. Because I want to know. I want to know what turned you on. Okay, so for those on Instagram that are just now tuning in, Tayla just asked the question about, so we're talking Freaky Friday. We're talking about this pandemic and whether or not your sex life has increased. Are you texting more? Are you, what is it called? Phone sexing more? Are you has your sex life increased, decreased? How has your sex life been because of COVID? Specifically because of COVID, how is your sex life? I was extremely transparent in the fact that sex is just like male or female. Like, are you a male or are you a female? That's what sex means to me right now. It means check the box. I'm a female. Aside from that, I have not been engaging, or okay, I can't lie. I have been offered, but it was like decline. Decline. I don't know. I've heard many people talk about how not having sex increases your connection spiritually, and it allows you to meditate better. You're able to astral project more frequently and like further, faster. But the question that I really have is, why does sometimes cum is extra thick? Like, why does it look like yogurt sometimes? If anybody knows, or if you know somebody, good rising all the way to Cali. Happy birthday, Kemian. Does anybody know why when some men and women ejaculate, it comes out looking like yogurt or cottage cheese? Like, how? So this conversation started because we started talking about pre-cum being so sweet, like how sweet it is, and how like I don't even know why it does this thing where it's like a string. It's like, I don't know, like you put your fingers together and then you take them apart and it's like, and I don't know why it does that thing, but pre-cum is so sweet. Like, I love it. I'm in love with it. I wish cum tasted like pre-cum. I do. I really hope my daddy is not still watching. Daddy, close the computer and leave now, please. Do not come back until Monday, when we do Motivational Monday. But please tell me if you know anybody, like, are you a person that comes in the form of like yogurt or cottage cheese? And if you do, is it because of your diet? So I've always thought maybe it's because of diet. Is it because you eat like you drink a lot of milk, you eat a lot of cheese, like there's a lot of dairy in your diet? I don't know. Are people who eat more fruits and vegetables have clearer cum? Because I know like some people, Sly King, I've been waiting for you, Sly. Freaky Friday. We've been waiting. We're talking about how people's lives, like sex life, has improved or declined because of the pandemic. But then we went down the slippery slope of everything sex, and I'm over here talking about everything that I like and don't like, and ever have been going through and haven't been going through. And so I really do, like, I want somebody to be transparent. Can you please hit my inbox and tell me if your cum is thick like cottage cheese? Have you ever tried to change your diet and make it thinner? Like, have you ever tried to have like a clear nut? Somebody this is exactly why I love Instagram. We got some answers over here. You can see it in how it's stringy. That's the word I was looking for. When cum is stringy, like male and female, like when you put your fingers together and you pull it apart and it's mad stringy, and like, yo, that is the sweetest. It is how sweet it is to me. Love, that's love. On Instagram, hey, Fabrice. Fabrice is the only person I trust with my hair. If you need a beautician in your life, Fabrice, you know Fabrice? If you don't, please learn about her. So Neg Sirius said that diet and hydration. Sly King said diet and exercise is the reason. Kemian said mine is somewhat clear. So Kemian, it's like kind of creamy at the same time, no? Like, is it like cottage cheese creamy? And have you ever tried to change your diet in order to get it clearer? Have you like increased your water intake? Do you increase your fruits and vegetables? Is it more of a meat product thing that makes your cum like cottage cheese-ish? Or is it more of a dairy thing that makes it like that? I'm interested. Like, I need to know so I can go ahead and be mindful of my husband's diet so it can be sweet and clear. Sweet and clear. I want it tasting like watermelons. I want to know. Yo, where the psychology majors at? Because I want to understand why, like, those flashbacks, when you have a flashback, and it could be, it's like, I'm having a flashback from like a year ago, though. It's mad long ago. But this one time at band camp, I'm thinking about this flashback, like, and it's still today to think about it just gives me chills. Like, how psychologically does your body respond to these, like, something that happened so long ago, but you could feel it like it just happened right now? Yo, that's so sexy to me. Freaky Friday. So, what you owe Marin? Oh man, for what? We talking, this is real talk. This is honesty. Can we be honest? Rob said, my research said pineapples are good for men to eat. So if the woman swallows, it will taste good to her. Yo, let me tell you, if you drink a lot of coffee, your pre-cum is disgusting. I just want to let you know that now. If nobody want to swallow you, it's because you drink too much coffee. Leave it alone. Put it down. Ew. Put the red meat down. Put all that beef down. Put that pork down. Pick you up a sweet potato and some watermelon, because nobody want to swallow that nastiness. I have flashbacks till my head hurts. Listen, I'm flashback. When you think about like that good, and it just gives you chills all over, like, I want to rock with you. Hey, let's hook up. That's my Janet Jackson. I love that song. Rob said that it's all about the water. If you drink a lot of water, then that is what will clear you up a little bit. But do we know that to be a fact, Rob? Did you do your due diligence? Have you done your research? So for those that are just now tuning in, today is Freaky Friday. Monday is Motivational Monday. We talk about motivation and spirituality and God and Jesus on Monday. But on Friday, we get ready for the weekend and we talk about the pum pum, the buddy. We talk about all that. And so if you feel uncomfortable, just don't listen on Fridays. Okay? Kemian said, I drink a lot of water, no meat, lots of vegetables. I exercise, but it's been like that for a long time. So have you ever been clear, Kemian? Has your cum ever just been clear? Go RWL? I don't know what that says. I always thought cum that looked like curdled milk was a problem, but I don't know. I do too. Like I wonder if it's a dietary issue, or I wonder if maybe it is exercise. I know, like, transparency, right? We can be honest here. I do know that after my cycle, during ovulation is when I'm the sweetest. So I taste me. I'm not afraid to say it. I do. I like to make sure that I taste good. And I have noticed that if I have like if I eat a lot of starch, if I'm eating a lot of rice, if I'm eating a lot of like salty things, my shit is salty. But if I'm eating a lot of fruits, if I'm eating a lot of vegetables, if I'm drinking a lot of water, like just like one of the things that I notice is if my pee is super yellow, then like that's when I'm the most saltiest. But if my pee is on the clearer side, that's when I'm the sweetest. And so for me, I do, like, I'm mindful of these things. I may not take notes, but I take mental notes about what's going on with my body, because you want to make sure, like, for the other person. No, I'm lying. I want to make sure I taste good for me. Like, I don't need nobody else. I don't need you to feel okay with how I taste. I want to be okay with how I taste. And I don't want nobody judging me, because act like you don't be kissing people in the mouth after they eat you. Grow up. I felt judged for a second. I don't know who was taking a second to judge me. Judge yourself if you don't kiss people in the mouth after they eat you. Oh, shoot. Fabrice said, I think it's also body type. Just not every female is a squirter. I think every female is a squirter. They just have not met the right person to make them squirt. And so once upon a time, I wasn't a squirter either until I was introduced to somebody who could make me squirt. And yo, that changed my whole life. My whole life. And so for those women who have never squirted before, I'm going to give you the blueprint. So the first Freaky Friday that we ever had on air for Spark FM Online, we learned about elongated labias. And elongated labias in Congo? Was it Congo, Rob? Do you remember? I think it was Congo. Elongated labias were a turn on for a lot of men. Where's my boo? Sly King. Was it Congo with the elongated labias? And one of the practices in this African country that I believe was Congo, it was when a man would rub the head of his penis on a woman's clit, but her labias were so long that it kind of hugged him. So he didn't even need penetration because it was like exterior, like the lips were on, like surrounded around his penis as the head rubbed up and down on her clit. And so that women were talking about in the documentary, because it was a documentary, in the documentary, these women were talking about how if he can't make me make water, I'm gonna throw him under the bed, because it was like that act of rubbing the head of a penis on, typically, honestly, if we could be for real, rubbing the head of a penis on the head of the clit is like, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to ruin that for every man. It's like two penises rubbing together. Yo, if you follow me on Instagram for real, if you look at the inside, if you look at a uterus looks like the head of a penis. And if you take a look at a clit, like the clit is like a little baby penis, but just like inside. And so it was Congo. Thank you, Sly King. So the head of the penis rubbing on the clit with the elongated labia hugging on to the penis while, doing this rubbing motion can create, for some women, the ability to squirt. But one of the things that is absolutely amazing that will have you skeet from the window to the wall is if you and your partner, I personally have not been able to make myself squirt, but I've seen other women do it on porn. I haven't reached that level of mastery yet. So maybe we'll get there. I'll share when I do. But for me, the first time that I was ever able to squirt was for him to, there was fingers involved. There were no penises involved. And it was like finding that spot right behind the clit. And it was like a come here, come here. Skeet! And that's really I have no idea how it happened. That's all I remember, though. It was just skeet. So if you have never been able to squirt and you are interested in squirting, I would suggest you and your partner have intimate conversations about, listen, let's find this spot that is behind the clit. And if you do your own due diligence, you do your own research, if you look up the anatomy of a woman, what you will find is that's typically the G spot. And it's a soft and gushy, and it feels different than the rest of the interior of the pum-pum. And so this soft and squishy spot is the spot that can captain hook. Exactly. You do the captain hook. And so if you do the captain hook and you as far as that is concerned, and it's not the whole finger. And I think this is why men with little penises still it's not about the size of the penis, but the motion of the ocean, because if your little thing can hit that G spot, you're the winner. You're the win. You won more than a man with 9 inches. It's all about that spot right there. If you can hit that spot, you're good. And so that captain hook, it's a approximately like this, like in between your first and your second. I have little hands, so I really don't know how it looks on a male. But between the first line and the second line, like in between there, you don't have to stick your finger all the way. Like I would say, like ease it in there the first like couple centimeters. How does that feel? How does that feel? And it's really about communication. Like hit like the communication, talk it through with each other. How does this feel? Do you like that? Izzy said, not really. My man can hit my clit and make me squirt. Okay. So shout out to, well, Izzy, we're talking about women who have never squirted before though. Fabrice mentioned on Instagram that not all women can squirt. And I'm thinking like, I didn't think I could squirt either. I wasn't a squirter until I was able to, from this person many, many years ago, showing me that, Tayla, watch, tell me what you will do. Tell me what you won't do. Tell me what you don't know how to do so I can show you. I'm going to give it to you like I owe you. And after I'm done, I'm going to tell you I told you so. Shorty said she want to roll with me. I'm like, and that's exactly what happened. And I was like, damn, okay. I guess I can squirt. And so Mark said, Mandingo and Les Steele is running the porn industry. I know someone who has a very large penis, and his penis is absolutely beautiful. And he told me that in his younger years, he thought he had a small winky woo because all of the industry, the porn industry, made him think that he couldn't. Like, I'm sorry, I'm over here reading while thinking at the same time. The porn industry made him think that his penis wasn't big enough because of exactly of what Mark said. Mandingo and Lex Steele is running the porn industry. And when you see these men with 9 and 12-inch penises, it doesn't even feel good at that time. You want to know why the women screaming, because it hurts. That's why. Like, that's why they're running. They're running because it hurts. But his penis is absolutely amazing. It's a great length. It's an amazing girth. And he thought that he had a little pee-pee because of what the porn industry is telling him. And so I'm wondering, like, when are we going to appreciate the little penises? Please. I want to say his was a great size, girth. But, you know, once upon a time, I did have it was so little, y'all. Like, it was little. But that it was bomb. Like, I was so surprised that it was good because of how little it was. And you know what? I think when it was so little that it just hit the G spot. It just hit the G spot. That was the only place it could go. It was like, now that I think about it, it was mad tiny and it only hit the G spot. And so that's why it felt so good, because I didn't need you to do the rest of it. And when you think about like the female anatomy, why do big ones even feel that good? Like, the fact that it's longer, is that what feels good? Or is it like the actual length of the penis rubbing up against the G spot is what makes it feel good? You know what? One of these Freaky Fridays, we're going to have an actual, not a sex person who wants to talk about sex, but somebody who can speak on the female and male anatomy on sex. I think that would be an amazing conversation. I look forward to finding that person. If you know them, hit me up in my inbox. If you have any ideas for Freaky Friday or Motivational Monday or topics in general, TaylaAndre, everything Taylor Andre for the shirts, because it is Freaky Friday. So I want you to suck my sacral chakra. You hear me? Suck it. There's some t-shirts at Faith Naturals on Blue Hill Ave. There's t-shirts on the website. I can bring you a t-shirt. There's books at Faith Naturals. There's books at Exxon in Mattapan, at Miss Stacy's gas station. There's books. I'm so excited at Frugal Bookstore. So, Irvine. Yes, Irvine. Thank you so much. She said that she's going to help us find the person who can talk to us on a Freaky Friday about the sexual anatomy of Freaky Friday. And if you want to come hang out on Freaky Friday, come on. Like, come on. Literally. Rob said, Mark, what did Mark say? Oh, they do that to a lot of, they love the punishment. I'm good. Like all that, we'll have a whole nother conversation about when it comes to, what is it? BDMS, BSMD, whatever that is. We'll have another conversation about like the whole punishment of Freaky Friday and how people like to be tied up and gagged in their mouth. You know what? When I was saying that out loud, I was like, I don't like it. But then like individually I do. So maybe together I would. Never did it before. Now I'm interested. So I thought before this like very moment in time, and when I tell you that this is real life therapy for me, it really is real life therapy every day. And so until this very moment in time, I was like, I don't like BD. What is it, like bondage, something, smut, something. I don't know what it is. And no, Rob, I don't want a man in my stomach. Like, I don't want you in my guts. I don't want you in my stomach. If you could just hit that G-spot, pull my hair, slap my ass, bite me. Oh, that's all I need in my life. I don't need you in my guts. I don't need you in my stomach. I don't need you messing up my uterus. Like, that's not what is needed. It's not necessary. It's like we did a show a while back, and we can do it again, about ethical porn. And I thought ethical porn was like, put on a condom and this is how you put on a condom. But ethical porn is like the fact that you can when you watch porn and it's just like black B-I, we won't say the whole, but black B, takes white penis. Like, you actually calling this black woman a B, but yet you're like, two feisty blondes. Like, ethical porn is about fetishizing black penis while disrespecting black women. And so I did not understand prior to this particular show that we did in the past, that we can definitely do again. BDSM. Thank you, Irvine. I did not know that ethical porn was a thing and how bad it was. That just like the verbal attack in porn on black women, like two black sluts, like it's and then it will be like two sexy white women. Like it just, the way that they frame the narrative is completely different when it comes to black sex and white sex. And so we definitely will have that conversation on ethical porn at a later date. And it's crazy. Like, the conversation that we had about ethical porn came from a husband and wife duo that engage in live sex. And so I believe they're in New York, and I so bad, don't judge me, I want to have a live sex party in Boston. Like, and it probably won't be in Boston. It'll probably like get a like nice little Airbnb somewhere in the suburbs and have a live sex party with rooms available for people who want to get it in, and just like free range. Oh, that's what's the name, isn't it? That's like swingers, but not really swingers, because I don't want to share. I'm selfish. I'm a tourist. That's not how I get down. But I do want, like, as a tourist, I am extremely free. Irvine said our sexuality is always marginalized. Absolutely. I am Kriala. How'd you know? Oh, because of the beads. You saw the beads? Is that what it was? Yes. This took a left turn really fast. So we're talking about sex during the pandemic, and the sex during the pandemic just turned left and right and just like did other things. And so I apologize. We did not stay on topic. We talked about everything else but sex during the pandemic. And so we are coming to the top of the hour. We have 6 more minutes to discuss all of this freakiness on Freaky Friday. And so if you like Freaky Friday, then please continue to listen on Fridays. We have Motivational Monday and everything in between on every other day. But we are humans. As a human being, you have multiple layers to you. You're like an onion. You know, like you are not just one layer. You're not just a spiritual person. If you think for 5 seconds that all these holier than thous, Jesus loves you, all of that, if you think for 5 seconds that they're not having nasty, disgusting, freaky, spit on me, spit in my mouth type sex, y'all crazy. Y'all absolutely crazy if you don't think these things are happening, which I thought was weird. Like there's people that actually like want you to spit in their mouth during sex. Like we're going to talk about that during fetishes. Irving, can you find us somebody to help us talk about fetishes too? Because there are so many fetishes that I was completely unaware of. I did not know, like, I do want to set up an OnlyFans page, and I want an OnlyFans page for foot fetishes. I want to set up and like have like my foot in cream cheese. I just want to do something weird, but at the same time, a little fun. No judgment, right? No judgment. This is a judge-free zone. I can tell you what I want to do. I can tell you about, I can share my kinkiness with y'all. He's exactly how the pastor get all them damn kids. Because the pastor just as nasty as the saint, as nasty as the sinner. That's why. The only thing that is different is the pastor went ahead and got married. So he could do all that little freaky nasty stuff in his head. What's it called? Without sin. But come to Vestavia. You know, I lived in Birmingham, Alabama. I went to Birmingham Southern. I even attended a year at Huffman High. So I'm very familiar with Vestavia. And no, I'm not going to travel to Vestavia because I know Vestavia well enough to know that the police don't like me nor you. So I'm surprised you live there. But I bet your kids going to get an amazing education at Vestavia Hills. Oh, we are coming to the top of the hour. So during Freaky Friday, really quick recap. We talked about sex during the pandemic. Are you getting none or are you getting some? And a lot of people said that they are dry, have been dry, and are not getting the sex that they wanted to get pre-pandemic, let alone the pandemic. Irving said, you are the safest sex partner. I know, baby. And I love the way I do me. I sure do. I love the way I touch me. I love the way I taste me. I love me. Irving said, you are your safest sex partner. So practice safe sex by engaging in safe sex with yourself. 2, she said, the partner you live with versus the partner you don't. 3, kissing transmits COVID-19. 4, needs safer sex. 5, we provide free safer sex and PPE. Okay, thank you, Irving, for sharing that. I don't understand number 2, partner you live with versus partner you don't. So is that like the partner that you have sex with in your house versus the partner that you don't have sex with? So you can kiss in the mouth the partner you live with, but you can't kiss in the mouth the partner that you don't live with? Is that what you mean? I need clarifications. We talked about Tayla's wanting to create an OnlyFans page, but not to shake my ass, but to like do weird things with my feet and see if somebody is willing to pay people to eat crab and listen to them go. Somebody pays for that. So why wouldn't they pay to look at my toes? Hey, I'm going to try it. You guys, do you support me? I want to know that I have your support. Will you pay $1.99 to subscribe to my OnlyFans page if I post feet videos? I'm going to do it. I said I'm going to do it, so I'm going to do it. If it don't work out, if I only make $1.99, because I know it's going to be one person. One person. He always supports me. I don't care what I do. I don't care what I put out. He always supports. So even if I make $1.99, I'm making my video. I'm making my foot fetish video. And he knows who he is. I love you. Thank you for always supporting me. Thank you for always being the backbone to my skeleton. I really do appreciate you. With that being said, what else did we discuss today? Oh, we talked about cum. We talked about it's like real, like that sticky, clear cum versus that thick cottage cheese cum, and whether or not that had anything. Irving, do you know if that has anything to do with diet and exercise? Because Irving, safe is sexy. I forgot who your actual employer is, Irvine, but Irvine is everything sex, and she like normalizes sex, and it's weird because she's like a cool elder that you can look up to and talk to, but she normalizes sex, so it's not fetishes, it's not like uncomfortable, it's not weird, it's normalizing sex because we're humans, we engage in it, we do it, you know. Even young people, did you know babies masturbate? Like kids masturbate. That was so weird to me. I was completely unaware that like 3-year-olds masturbate. The first time I learned about it actually was in Sex and the City. But since we have come to the top of the hour, we literally have 30 seconds left. I am Tayla Andre. Waking Up with Tayla Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. I wrote a book, y'all. My book is called Finally Home. It's for people preparing for first-time home ownership. If you need help with your credit score, if you need help with buying a house in the next 5 years, get the book. It's on TaylaAndre.com. If you like my t-shirt, it's called Suck My Sacral Chakra. I have one that says Ride My Roots Chakra. I have another one that says Awakening My Third Eye. And the last one is the Black woman meditating with her chakras aligned called Soul Naked. Irvine said, it's all about the movements of the partner you live with respect to COVID-19 with the partners that you don't live with. Also, you have to ask partners if they have any COVID-19 symptoms. And so to be careful if you are looking to go out into the world, into the wilderness and have sex during COVID-19, if you're trying to catch a flight and get a booty call, make sure you ask them if they have any symptoms before kissing them in the mouth, because it can be transmitted through saliva. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. TaylaAndre. Mwah. We'll see you on Motivational Monday. And we got